Hi, Joe Paprocki from Loyola Press for Pop-Up Catechesis. I was very lucky to have Bishop Gerald Cacanis as one of my mentors. In fact, he hired me right out of college to teach religion at the high school seminary in Chicago. What a young pup I was. And I got to observe Father Cacanis in action, preaching at Mass, leading retreats, teaching religion classes. And I recall a particular lesson that he taught about holiness. So in that class, he asked for a volunteer to come to the front of the class, and then he invited the other students to come up one at a time and to position the volunteer in such a way as to make him look holy. So one by one, the students came forward, and the first one positioned the volunteer's face to stare upward toward the heavens. The next one had him get down on his knees. Another came forward and put his hands in a praying position, and still another came forward and placed a Bible in the folds of the elbows of his praying hands. What a pious statue they had created. So, unsurprisingly, when all was said and done, Father Cacanus asked the class how many of them wanted to be holy, if that's what holiness looks like. Well, the class laughed, and not one hand went up, and the faces said, "Are you kidding me?" Well, Father Cacanus had created a teaching moment. He pointed out that based on our typical understanding of holiness as being overly pious, no one wants to be thought of as holy. And yet, we are all called to holiness. He then went on to help the young people understand what true holiness is. I like to think of holiness simply as resembling God. You know, all of us are made in the image and likeness of God, and you know what it means to have a family resemblance. So we are called to resemble God. And that means we're called to live in the imago Dei, Latin for the image of God. Of course, we're not talking about physical resemblance to God. Rather, we're called to resemble God's characteristics, which include creativity, compassion, generosity, charity, love of others, relationality, mercy, and so many other attributes. And if you're still trying to picture what it means to be holy and you're having difficulty doing that, just picture Jesus in action. And then, in small and big ways, try to imitate him in your everyday life. So, how about you? How do you resemble God? For Pop Up Catechesis, this is Joe Peprocki. Until next time, God bless.